Hello, it's me, Rabbi Sol, with Rabbinical Reflections for you all. I come from Temple Sons of Bitches here in Great Neck, New York. Shut up and pay attention to me. Shalom Dammit! This is Rabbi Sol Solomon with a Rabbinical Reflection for July 24th, 2021. I scream, you scream, we all scream at Ben & Jerry's! Back in the late 1970s, a couple of underachieving Jewish slobs, Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield, raised $12,000 to open an ice cream store. Combining their very different skills and sensibilities, did you know that Ben Cohen has no sense of smell? Finally, someone who can sit next to old men at the synagogue on Yom Kippur. But in a couple of years, Ben & Jerry's became a serious brand and, eventually, a world-famous hoo-ha. To their credit, these nice boy chicks always tried to be socially conscious. They donated to oodles of charities and nonprofits. They made their packaging more eco-friendly and objected to using growth hormones in their cows. For a while, they had a policy that nobody at their company could make more than 5 times what the lowest paid worker made. That didn't last, but Ben & Jerry's stood as a model for visionary capitalists who could create something people want and be funny and hip about it, improve the world, and still make a bundle. The most conservative right-wing neo-fascist could sneer at Cherry Garcia and Chunky Monkey, but they still ate it and had to marvel at the company's success. Messrs. Cohen and Greenfield sold Ben & Jerry's to Unilever 2 decades ago. It is said they have no connection to the company beyond their first names still being on the buckets. So, the horrible things I'm about to say, I assume, are not directed at them. But they certainly are to current CEO Matthew McCarthy. Well, he can kiss the Blarney Stone's tuchus for his leftist, radical, stupid decision-making. He wants gender equity in the workplace. Fantastic. He wants to give black people restorations and reparations for slavery. He's welcome to write a check. But his decision to stop selling ice cream in East Jerusalem and the settlements in the West Bank is more half-baked than their most popular flavor. In a statement last week, Ben & Jerry's said that selling their product in the occupied West Bank was, quote, inconsistent with our values. So, boycotting a country that annexed land it won in a war against perpetual enemies and then building citizens' houses on that land is inconsistent with the values of making people obese and giving them heart disease? In response to Ben & Jerry's BDS bullshit, the Israeli government is very likely to do what all Jewish people do when threatened: call their lawyers. They did it 3 years ago when Airbnb, the company for people who don't think they're good enough to stay in hotels, Airbnb banned listing properties in the territories. Benji Netanyahu got on the phone to Moskowitz, and Flywheel. They put up a flurry of lawsuits, and Airbnb reversed its policy. To save face, well, one of their faces, Airbnb promised to take any money coming from those properties and funnel it to humanitarian aid. I just hope the CEO of Airbnb gets AIDS. But I digress. In current times, when even ice cream is politicized, Ben & Jerry's is facing a backlash over its anti-Zionist actions. Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett called them, quote, the anti-Israel ice cream. South Florida politician Laverne Spicer tweeted, I will never buy Ben & Jerry's again. They might as well change their name to Hamas and Adolf's. A little hyperbolic, Laverne, but appreciated nonetheless. The Babylon Bee satire magazine created a new Ben & Jerry's flavor, Push the Jews into the Sea, Salt and Caramel. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio, who has as much reason to eat his feelings as anyone, says he's reluctantly giving up Cherry Garcia. And right here on Long Island, Town of Hempstead Supervisor Don Clavin bashed Unilever in a speech. He vowed to remove every Lipton tea bag and Hellman's mayonnaise jar from government offices. And let's not forget Breyer's ice cream, which is for people who don't think they're good enough to eat Super Fudge Chunk. Uniloser has opened up a pint of worms with its decision to punish Israel simply for treating land in Israel like Israeli land. It's time for Unilever, Airbnb, and all these suddenly woke enterprises that have no trouble doing business in China, Russia, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia. It's time for them to think real hard about who the good guys and the bad guys really are in the world. Until then, it's up to us reasonable people to boycott them. Ben & Jerry's, go peddle your lumpy shit cream elsewhere. We won't buy it, we won't eat it, and we'll make sure your economic future hits a very rocky road. This has been a Rabbinical Reflection from Rabbi Sol Solomon, Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. Whatever happened to Seal Test?